I'd like to invite Raycon, please, to unleash his pearls of wisdom. Raycon.
Harry, there was no need for that. Seriously, he's made me sound like as if I'm 60 years old or something.
Well, I'm 18, so...
As I was driving over here, I was looking for this place. I thought, well, you know, where is it? Because when you're driving, you're looking here, you're not looking this side or that side. And I said, oh, there's a bunch of nice cars over here, so I'll stop and take a guess, because if you're going to have successful people, you're going to have nice cars, right? That's how it works. So I stopped, pulled over here, there it was, Al Faisal. I came in, and as I was coming up the stairs, I remembered a little article I'd read in one of the magazines which said, when guys are buying socks, they buy, without even knowing about this, without even thinking about this, they will buy socks which are the same color as their car. Now, if they haven't, you try this. There's a couple of guys over looking at it going, hang on a second, am I real? Do you know, just a couple of days ago, a friend of mine, she phoned up and said, Ray, you're checking, so aren't you? If you're a woman, the chances are when you buy socks for your man, you will think about his car. There's a connection there, nobody knows why. A friend of mine phoned up and said, Ray, she's very successful, by the way. She's a chief executive, she's got over 1,000 people that she's responsible for. And she says, Ray, you know, when I'm speaking to people on one-to-one, I love it. I have no problem. I'm in charge of that situation. When I'm in a boardroom, no problem. I'm in control of what's going on. I set the agenda, and I'm in charge, no problem. But she goes, Ray, I need your help with something. When I'm on stage and I'm looking at a room full of people, a couple of hundred, and all the eyes are focused on me, I get really nervous. I said, well, what exactly is it that you're nervous about? She says, well, it's these eyes, they're staring at me, and I have no idea what they're thinking. I mean, are they thinking about my hair? Is it my clothes? Are they waiting for me to make mistakes? And I said, yeah. By the way, who can relate to that? Fear of speaking and worrying about what people think. Yeah? And I'll tell you what I told her. I mean, this took a lot longer, but I'll break this down into small bits and shorten it for you. I said, would you like to know what the people in the audience are thinking? Yeah. Would that be useful? If you knew what your audience was thinking? Would that help you?
Yeah.
Yeah? What if not only you know what they're thinking, but you control what they're thinking? Now, would that be useful?
Yeah,
that would be very helpful, wouldn't it? So I told her this. When you go on stage, in fact, you'll see this a lot happening with experts. When you have the biggest speakers in the world, when they go on stage, they follow one of these three things. The first thing is, they will say to you, give you a quote, for example. They will read something out. What was the first thing I did when I came on stage here? I spoke about the cars, didn't I? I spoke about your socks. So all of a sudden, I have put something into your mind. So all of a sudden, you're thinking about your socks in your car. That's the first tactic that expert speakers use, and it works really well. You can use other little facts and figures that are related to your type of business, or it could be something totally random. One of my favorite ones is when you throw this one out and people go, hey, do you know that there are more people alive today that have ever died in the past? More people are alive today than have ever died. Check it out. It's a fact, but it's the one that makes you think. So all of a sudden when you're throwing these facts out, the focus isn't on you anymore. The eyes, yeah, they're still looking at you, but behind those eyes there's something else going on. The focus has been taken away. That's one trick that people use. The other trick that works really well is to do a survey. Again, I've used it already. I've said, put your hand up a few times, and you did. Again, it's out there with you. The focus is no longer on me, it's making you think. Some people, in fact, get a bit fearful. Oh my God, he's going to point the finger at me. They start dropping pencils on the floor and say, not me, not me. And the third one is a little trick. Again, experts use it. They like to try it out because it works really well. But before I give you the third one, I'm going to do a quick survey. How many people in this room are business leaders and owners? Put your hand up if you're a business owner, leader. Okay. How many of you represent your business? In other words, you're the face of your business. Adam, Shaquille. Put your hand up if you're not one of those people. Somebody who doesn't represent their business. Come on, there's got to be somebody, because you didn't all put your hand up to the last question. Can you all raise your hand like this? Everyone. I want to just test if the arms are working. Yeah, okay. The reason I asked the second question is because, and I want you to think about this, how much more business, how much more money could you generate if you were able to communicate effectively on a platform like this, or in front of a group of people that you're presenting to in a small room, or if you were to do a presentation? This is a presentation when somebody says to you, right, okay, we've got an opening on stage and we would like you to talk about your business. And there's 1,000 people in front of you. How beneficial would it be if you were to walk on stage like a great business leader and talk about your product? That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be free advertising. You would be the brand of your product. And one of the things I've said many times over, is if you're not comfortable about walking onto stage and talking, fix it. Fix it. Doesn't matter what it takes. If it means spending money on yourself, investing in yourself, do it. Because we're now living in a time where going on the radio, speaking in front of a camera to reach a large audience is now reserved for the rich and the famous. It's for everyone. You can do a blog tomorrow, put it on Facebook, iTunes. You can reach thousands of people. You can do Facebook Live, talk about your business, your project, reach thousands. What if tomorrow somebody says, hey, listen, we're looking for an expert on property? Who would be the first person to put their hand up and say, I want to take this opportunity up and speak on radio? If the answer is yes, you're up there. You're on your way. But if you're thinking, I'm too shy, I'm not ready for this, then you need to start working on yourself now. The time has gone where you could say, I'm in my office. I'm running my business on the phone. You need to get out of that mentality. The sooner you do that, the more successful you'll be. Now the third trick that experts use, you've heard this before, when they're standing in front of an audience, they realize one thing, and this is one thing I want you to take away with you tonight. Those eyes that are looking at you, whether there's 2 eyes or whether there's millions of eyes looking at you, none of them are connected to each other. Just because there's 1 million eyes looking at you doesn't mean that they are multiplied somehow, that they are connected, so the intensity multiplies. It doesn't. Same with the ears. They're not connected. So when you're presenting an audience, you're still talking to one person. The sooner you realize you're only speaking to one person at any one time. In this room, there's 30, 40 people here. I'm only speaking to one person, because what I say to you, sir, has no bearing on this gentleman over here. Good to see you. And it doesn't matter if you're sitting holding hands together, it doesn't transfer across. And this is one of the single tricks that professional speakers realize. They're only speaking to one person. And just to finish, I had a phone call from the CEO that I was talking about earlier on. She said the presentation went brilliantly. She enjoyed what I told her. She used it on stage, and it worked brilliantly. And she was ever so grateful for that. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you found something of use, something valuable, and I want you to put it into practice, whatever it is. We're living in a changed world now. You need to invest in yourself. If you're good at what you do already and you speak on stage, you speak behind the microphone in front of camera, great. You're on the right path. But if you're scared of doing that, do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was just a taster. Ray Khan will be the guest speaker in March. So stay tuned. Next month we have Samuel Leeds, and in March we shall be listening to a bit more of Ray Khan. Brilliant stuff.